All right, how's everybody doing today? Coming in here with a very impromptu live broadcast as we're seeing some pretty interesting price action once again in the price action of Bitcoin and some interesting altcoins as well. Thank you guys for joining me right now in the Chonis show. We are watching some interesting, another elongated wick here that we're seeing in the price action. Okay, getting bought up once again. Up, there goes my alert on Ethereum. And I had all these things going here. And because I was watching to see, it's going to be another one of those dips where we get that dip and then we get that rip. So it's interesting to see that this gets bought up in this current 15-minute candle here. And now we're pushing a little bit higher with some volume. Bet you we're seeing that across the board too with some of our altcoins. Yeah, there's Litecoin above 46. Bitcoin Cash is moving there, and Ethereum Classic. And where is Ethereum? Ethereum 138 and climbing here. Remember, this is fork day or spork day, so we'll see if that follows through. Now, getting back to Bitcoin here, we've had a couple of these fake outs, and the fact that we were able to find support. Let's just go for it right here, right in this 618 area, and break through the 382 here currently, as this was a resistance area here, turned support for quite a while. And now we're back testing it currently on many candles. The 6 hour, the 4 hours got 20 minutes left. So we're just going to do one of those high wave candles here once again on the 4 hour. Big fight here, bulls and bears trying to kind of see what's going on here and keep any kind of momentum, and definitely keeping us on our toes as we're seeing the reaction once again to a bearish drop followed by this wick getting bought up. Lower time frames here, we're watching this hourly candle here, about 20 minutes left to go. And again, I want to see this first resistance area of the 382 get broken through right here on Bitcoin and use it as support like it had been doing once again. Now we're seeing the confluence here on this 4 hour candle, which only has about 20 minutes left to go. And are we going to do another one of those Darth Mauls where we go a very low wave, high wave, end up finishing up more or less in the middle here? Give me 1 second here. I have to adjust something. So we're watching the volume come in. Let's keep it to a low time frame here. And listen, we popped up to 39.09. Oh, did we close? Crap, did we close the BTC one? Did we close? 134. There. Did we close the gap here? No, we didn't. On the CME, we didn't really even react much at all on the upside to the CME. So we still have that upper gap there on the CME, even with this volatile move here in Bitcoin's price action. Still have a gap up to 39. And wow, we were able to get up to 39 here, but like in getting that rejection area right here in a previous area of support. Let's hide this here. What's our Bollingers looking like right now? Aha, so look at that. We were able to find, we were able to find middle Bollinger support on our last lower bottom wick here, able to bust through that and hitting up that middle Bollinger there on the 4 hour, still pretty spread. And middle Bollinger resistance on the 6 hour currently here. But listen, this is a nice move here. This is the double bottoming wick that gets bought up again, so we have this dip got bought up. We had another dip just a few minutes ago, and we're getting that reversal. I think you can probably see it in the 5 minute. Yep, there was the dip, and now here's the rip. And I want to see that this really needs breakaway speed at this point if we're going to get the rip here, because we already have this dip that kind of saved us here and kept us in this 3,800 zone, kept us above the 37s, right, which is kind of our fail-safe area to close above, even though we did find a wick down all the way to 3650, which was our area of support here. What's up going on, guys, in the chat room here? TJ000, Gage, Maya K, Pat Can, Andrew Jonas, Mr. Pablinas, Claiborne Taylor, PLC, Shoreline, SS Sports 88, my brother. What's up, Jeanette? Yeah, listen, we were watching for that fake out again. You know, oftentimes when you get these wicks that get bought up, you tend to see them again, followed by a very similar reaction. Let's see if this reaction can be a little more of that breakout speed that we're looking for at the bulls want to achieve here, because right now rejecting below 3,900 is still not the most ideal thing. However, we do have to notice, and yeah, you know, the volume in this overall context, okay, still seems to be not the most kind of earth-shattering is the word, but we're in a low-volume environment where we have a lot of, I'm not going to call it manipulation, but we definitely have a lot of bigger players that can move the market quicker with bigger inflows of money and such. So we're seeing that kind of play out here with these kind of FU wicks if you're in a very tight stop loss, really, in either direction. If you were in a short, okay, you probably got stopped, and if you were in a long, you know, there's a good chance you got stopped as well. So we're watching to see if this is another one of those fake outs where we clear the board up and down here and kind of keep that sideways price action, because that sideways price action still keeps us in the range here. And when Bitcoin does range, what do we do see? Well, we see the altcoins be able to range and actually build off of that momentum here. So as we're watching this reaction to the candle, I'm very curious to see what our hourly and our 4-hour close like, just because they're both closing in 15 minutes. What kind of a high wave candle could we potentially produce? And is this enough to get us out of this breakaway speed here? I want to quickly jump to the monthly, but before I do that, remember you guys follow me on Twitter. I'm at Big Chonis. I'm a cryptocurrency trader, investor, mentor, chart psychologist. I'm a featured contributor to Bitcoin Live. I like to do these YouTube broadcasts, especially when there's some interesting and dynamic price action in crypto going on here. And remember to check out my homepage here, still a work in progress, and ask me about my online mentoring as well. I do want to bring up cryptocurrency market here, watching Bitcoin dominance, still around 52, which means there's a lot of money still in altcoins. You know, our market cap at 131 billion, 24-hour volume 28 billion. Bitcoin volume has been pretty high. We're still in that $8 billion range. And that's good. Like we haven't seen, we really haven't seen days like that for consecutive days like that for quite a while. And to be over 10 billion here when we actually had our dump here on the 24th, when was the last time we broke over 10 billion? You know, I mean, we gotta go back ways. So the money's there. The money's definitely coming into the market in a way we have not seen for some time. But is this just kind of a clean prop up here to kind of exit some of these, especially some of these alts here, which have had some great runs off their bottoming? But what we're seeing here, at least for the moment, is we're seeing this hold now above 38. Let's call it 3,800 is kind of this new hold area of Bitcoin, and seeing if we can build on that. Now we're still shaky on our follow-up move here on our high wave candle that we just put in here on our lower time frames. But let's go to some higher time frames and see what other things we can look at. Let's see what this makes our daily candle look like right now. So yesterday's candle, listen, I still look at this as a dragonfly. We have not had a closing body like this be so tight since October, very, very long time. And the fact that we were able to find this being bought up on decent volume and then the pullback bringing us back down here today and retesting an area of 3750 above our previous support of 37.14. So a higher low 5 days later currently as support. We need to now break and close above 3,800 to continue the trend. And what is the trend telling us so far? That the trend could be in play to test these upper areas here. Because we held this area on the closing candle and did not blow through, the bullish scenario here can definitely still be in play. And what is the bullish scenario? Well, the bullish scenario is a retest and a break of $4,000. The bullish scenario is a break of $4,000, breaking 4,200, breaking 4,250, and then breaking above 4,400, closing the CME futures gap around a little bit below 4,400 and actually engaging into some sort of a higher high, something that Bitcoin has yet to at least close above for a very long time, right? When was our last higher high in these candle formations that we're basically seeing here? So far we're having a very good reaction here. I want to go lower. I want to go lower time frame. Okay, and we're just watching the fall. This was an interesting move here. This was kind of this move here definitely hit a lot of triggers. Okay, caused a lot of alarms to go off. And now we're basically seeing a reaction to that and the follow-up to that. Little stair step higher. Ethereum, Constantinople fork is today, probably, whatever that means. We're going to see how that plays out, and to get some of the information on the key people that are behind it through Twitter, probably through the rest of the day here, and see how that's basically playing out. But this is a news-driven event here in Ethereum, and we're going to see if this news-driven event is different than the other ones, which tend to pump before the event itself, and then they tend to dump. They honestly tend to dump after the event, or right before the event, or at the peak of the event, so to speak here. So as we follow up on our candle here, about 10 minutes to go in our hourly and our 4-hourly reaction to a little volatile move here on this kind of high wick so far spinning top, but let's see what kind of a candle we can create here. Can we create more of a hammer than kind of the indecision here? I like the fact that we're still not overextended. We're still inside the hourly Bollinger. We're still inside just above the 4-hour, but we're tight. 4 hours are very tight here. We could do a Wu-Tang here and really widen these out once again. 6-hour. Okay, still finding that middle Bollinger resistance after having used it as support. Okay, not ready to blast through that guy just yet, and still got about 2 hours left to go in our 6-hour candle, as well as a rejection kind of near the middle Bollinger on the 12-hour. And the daily, beautiful test of the middle Bollinger and held support. And that, my friends, is very bullish until proven otherwise. Okay, guys, I'm a Bollinger guy, and I like the fact that the middle Bollinger was respected here after the intra-candle break and the support. Now we have a back test of middle Bollinger support, and if we are able to hold our middle Bollinger support, we can then, once again, target our upper BB, which is currently right around the $4,000 area. Now, Bitcoin, it almost feels like after the latest dump that Bitcoin is really guiding the trend here, so to speak, where you're basically the diversion between what we were seeing with Litecoin moving faster and Ethereum moving faster. We now have Bitcoin, it seems to be, in terms of leading the way, in terms of what the possibilities are, bullish or bearish. A close above the middle Bollinger means a close above 3,700. Close above 3,700, or at least 3,750, puts us over our previous resistance area, confirmed as support on this candle here. So this move Okay, and the fact that we have a lot of the day left, and we actually have a very good volume coming in once again today, where we still have 7, 8 hours to go, and we're almost three-fourths away up on the volume profile of yesterday's candle. Is quite notable in the sense that, oh, okay, maybe we have to see what the support of this area and the expansion in this area can achieve. Now, I talked about in yesterday's quick video here, we have a couple things. Daily candle close as Dragonfly, Middle Bollinger held, Golden Pocket support, RSI above 50. Our MACD was bear crossing. We were still above our zero line in our CMF, and our OBV was still in an uptrend. So let's check on those things here on our daily RSI, 56 with intentions of rising. Okay. Our MACD did not cross. It actually pulled back as this day went forward, and we have yet to do this bearish cross, nor we've actually pulled up our histogram here. That is interesting. So even though we started the day in this bearish histogram and this just crossing there, we're still not crossed yet there. So this is holding on here, and we do have the beginnings of a bullish cross here in our Stoke. And listen, even though we haven't zeroed out yet here, we're definitely in an area here where we could get down to our line and find this area as support of enough of that thing there. Look at our OBB oscillator. This has been, sticking out for quite some day. We're still bullish here. Bullish with another push higher in this latest move here. So this is still bullish comparatively to what we had here, and because of that, even with the pullback we see now in this area, we're still holding the key area, and our OBV is still strong. It's still strong. So that was before the dump, and now we actually have a higher OBV, or we're peeking through a higher OBV with a lower price. Okay, this OBV was about $4,200 at the peak here, and now we're almost $300 lower with a higher OBV on the daily. So that's some bullish divergence there, if I would suspect. And CMF, not much move in that move. They were still above the zero line and still basically positioned as we were yesterday with a down angle. Longs and short ratio. Longs are still trailing lower, and shorts are not really rising very precipitously in ways that we've seen them do so when they get into this area, such as what happened in August, such as what happened in November, such as what happened last February. But maybe this means that the shorts just have to go a lot lower to those February lows of 8,000 and 10,000, as we're still above almost 19,000 right now. Okay, and note as well the support area of our previous shorts right there. So this is a support of shorts at a little under 17,000 contracts. And we're still seeing the bounce from that touch there. So neither is over leveraged, except longs definitely have running room to fall, and shorts definitely have running room to rise. Yet neither one is really kind of overextended in other capacities. So let's go back to Bitcoin here, and let's check out. Let's go tight here, and let's see what kind of a pullback reaction we're having to this little dumpy pumpy thing we got going on here. Okay, we basically went not super low. We basically, how big of a move was this from stem to stern here? It was a 4% move in a basically 10-minute candles. A 10-minute reaction here. So now we're pulling back, very small on the move. And listen, you can do fibs wherever you want here. We're just seeing the pullback of just the wicks here, So we're finding 328 resistance. Okay, and because of the down here, ideally we could even come back down to our kind of 3820s which I really don't want to. Basically, the place we've been stuck at all this time here. Now, I've been watching to see, let's get rid of our Bollingers here. I'd be actually watching to see, this is very near-term stuff, people. I'm just looking at the very micro, okay? But I want to see this area where was resistance, 38.35, okay? On our most recent wick out here, I want to see this act as support now, because when we did have our last flush out and then bounce back, where did we top off? 3835. We tried to get above it again, got rejected, came down. Now we're coming back up, and let's see if we can test that as support. This would be a good first step here for Bitcoin to hold, hold $5 basically, and then they can begin to build on this here, as our volume follow-up is still rather anemic on this move here. Let's go to the monthly. Chonis, the monthly, why not? Well, because this is the last day of the month. Okay, so in about 8 hours as well, we actually do have a new monthly candle, a month of February candle, that's going to be put in here, okay? And where are our ideal areas to close? Well, ideally, we want to keep the bullish engulfing from the previous month. So we want to close above the previous month's open of $3,700. There's a $3,700 area again, and how important that area is to hold. We also want to get as high as potentially, which would be great, our December open, right, which was $39.76. Can you imagine closing over 4K? In the next 8 hours, only $160 to do it. But then we talk about a candle that's bullishly engulfing January and December. And wow, that would be a really good feeling as we start going into March, wouldn't it? To bullishly engulf the previous 2 months? Is that too much to ask for? We're only a couple $100 off of the top of our wick here. So how much Momo do the bulls have in these last 8 hours of the month of February to really push this sucker higher here? I'm curious to see where our lower Bollinger on our monthly begins the month. Okay, as we're basically starting the month with it around almost $1,200, and I expect it to rise a couple $100 as we start the new candle for March. And wow, so these are our areas we'd love to see Bitcoin break above and close above on the monthly. Checking in on the weekly here. Not bad. Intra-week candle here. We're on Thursday, so we're about halfway through the week. Volume is decent. Looks like if we're halfway through the week, we're going to put something maybe a little less than last week, but still in the average. And to close with this uptrend somewhat intact on the weekly would definitely be a very nice positive here. As we watch the area of 3840 hold as support, as we want such to do so. Let's look at our 3-day, because we also, okay, so we're day 2 of our 3-day. And similarly, we've held our middle Bollinger, which was yesterday's break. So middle Bollinger supported on the 3-day as well. I do like that as well. 2-day, we are just day 1 into our 2-day. That's why it looks like our thing there. But look at this 2-day close, yesterday's candle here. Kind of an interesting, it's more of a hammer, actually. It's more of a hammer than I would call it any kind of a hangman here, even though it has a little wick here on top. High 26, open 18, so $8 little wick here, but that's bullish. It really is, and the fact that we're still holding above our middle Bollinger, again, that 4K target can definitely be in play as long as our middle BB continues to hold. Let's do a TD count here. Oh, and just remember, I want to reiterate how important this is. This middle Bollinger test and hold. I like that. I really like that. We maintain middle Bollinger. I can definitely target our upper BB once again for that kind of support there. Now, I want to bring up my EMAs here, 12, 26. See where we're at. We did hold EMA 26 support yesterday, and we're currently above both EMAs on most time frames except the 4 hour, over the 4 hour too. So where's our resistance? And over the 1 hour. So we're actually, look at this, we're beginning to spread out. It's called the fan out. Beginning to fan out here our EMAs on the lowest of time frames, the hourly. Okay, here was our bear cross. Here was our tightness. Here was our first attempt to cross bullishly, fail. And our second attempt here succeeded, got tested, and now is in a continuation. So this fan out here could be the start of something on the low time frame. So the 15 minutes shows a nicer fan as well. So we're beginning the fan out, but we still have a ways to go on our higher time frames for any kind of a notable cross. Our 4 hour is still bearish, and a bearish hasn't crossed yet. I like the turnover though, and it's also notable to see how our EMA 12 was resistance and now acting as support. Okay, so we'll watch those, especially on our higher term time frames, to see if that can continue. Otherwise, we're still finding support on both of my EMAs on the higher time frames. And you notice how yesterday's close was just under the 12. Closing above it would be closing above 3,800 would be quite ideal. 2-day resistance on the 26 and 3-day support on the 12. So that is good stuff there. Let's hide these guys for a second here. Let's bring up the cloud, because the daily cloud support was just fascinating to see how we held it. After breaking below it, came back in, tested it, held it, tested it, held it. And now we actually have a Tenkan-sen bullish move here on our Tenkan-sen here. Finally rising up and getting some bullish separation for the first time in quite a while from our Kaijin-sen, and we're still in the cloud support here, and this is still bullish. Now we can drift lower to the 36s and still hold that cloud support, but personally I wouldn't like that. I think we've done enough with yesterday's candle, and so far with today's follow-up, to show how strong the 37's defense area needs to hold and can hold, because we definitely have buyers in said area. And then all of our lower time frame cloud, Tenkan-sen resistance on the 12-hour, but the support of the cloud still holds. We got our TK resistance, but cloud support holds on the 6. And we are back in the cloud riding up the 4. Now the 4-hour resistance is interesting here. See how we closed our candle inside the 4-hour cloud. Ooh. So bullishly we can get as high as 39.40s, right? And still be in the cloud as resistance. So I'm going to keep an eye on my 4-hour cloud over the next several 4-hour candles and see what the reaction of the upper crust of the cloud continues to be. This notable close with inside it here tells me that the cloud is being respected on the 4-hour. This also shows bullish running room again up to the 3900s-ish before that cloud resistance once more. But remember, intra-candle, we can definitely get above it before closing into it once more. So interesting confluence there where our cloud resistance on the 4-hour is being respected and coincides with our 3900 area. I want to bring up my triple BBs. Where are we on the 4-hour? So MA50 resistance on the 4-hour. MA50 support on the 6-hour. All sorts of crosses going there on the 12-hour. And then my overall daily is kind of the one we're most interested in here. MA 100 still holding support after the close below. And I still have to, even though it's very far up here still, Keep note of my daily MA 200, which is slowly skimming below 5K in the next couple of days here as a kind of a pan-ultimate target. That would be great to see if Bitcoin is able to get hit on that one there. The monthly bear cross of the MA30 and the MA7 is potentially, it's very close to this, and we've seen a history about this cross back in the 2014 fractal that shows a very bearish outcome when these two EMAs do cross here. Where the heck is my BLX? There it is. This is a scenario here. Looks like it's right there. Not sure. Because we had that cross there, and that was kind of, I mean, this was all after, after that bottom there. But this will be a notable cross nonetheless, and this is our first March cross of these two indicators in quite a while here. So we'll see if that actually gets confirmed. What else of note? Oh yeah, let's check on our TDs and see if any notable counts here. Oh, let's go back to Bitcoin. On the Coinbase, let's go to let's start with the hourly. Very clean 1 hour mid count. Putting in a 7 on the 6 hour, mid count early on the 2, the 2 day, the daily. So nothing is really screaming except the 3 day is bleeding, not bleeding yet. It's definitely bullish count still. See, here's what's interesting. We still have a green 8 on the 3 day. 1, 2, 3, 4, because we're still above 36.27. And that could take us to a 9 as we get into March. Actually, no, it can't, because wait a minute here. Where do we have to open for a 9? 1, 2, 3. We got to open our 3 day above 39 on the 2nd, actually, to put in a green 9. Which is totally possible. In 2 days here, Bitcoin over 3,900, absolutely possible. In the way that this is playing out here. And interesting 3 day. I know we're kind of early. We're only in day 2 of this 3 day here. But I like it. I like it. It's bullish. It looks good. Let's look at. Oh yeah, something I wanted to mention on the higher time frame indicators. When you have a lot of indicators lining up in the same direction, the MACD is still angled high here. We do have a bearish cross on the 3 day, and we're still in the negative on our OBV oscillator here, but look how much we've come up here. And the fact that we were able to get positive initial rejection came back. These are what those setups happen for the next push higher. So even though we were below our 0 line, I like the rejection initially to push higher once again. That's another sign of interest there too. And our OBV here as finding support where we found resistance, now acting as support here. So once again, we're still bullish on certain criteria on higher time frames. What's our 2 day look like? Still resetting on some of our lower ones, but I like the reset of the Stoke on the daily. Look at our 12-hour stochastic here. Just beginning a nice rise here after a reset. So a lot of our lower time frames, getting a little tired on our 6 hour here, but we got running room on our trailing indicator. And look at our 4 hour. We're actually getting a little exhaustion here on our 4 hour as well. It's quite an interesting move there. So running room on higher time frames, less running room as we get below in the sixes there. So it might be some more consolidation near term before our next break. But overall, holding above 38, 40, 38, 35 would be ideal for Bitcoin, to continue that momentum moving higher. Let's see, anything else really sticking out here? Bitcoin above 4K basically means everything else, really um, pushes to that next area. Basically, Litecoin back above $50, Ethereum back in the mid probably 145s, because we basically be breaking through this 140 area of Ethereum. Um, but whenever we see this kind of dip and rip, and then another one of these flush out candles where you kind of clear out the stops on either side, but keep a tight body. This is still bullish, kind of, until proven otherwise here. And now that we've actually set a higher low in our dip support, Ethereum at 25 was bought up, Ethereum at 31, 32 was bought up, and now we're kind of setting that precedent when these wicks are safe to buy into. At least for now, buying the dip is paying off here in these moves, especially these ones that seem to be falling off a cliff and then just kind of like whoop, find that continuation there. So again, what are our expectations here? For Bitcoin to really buck the trend and to keep us going in the area where we want to achieve, this cluster of 3900s really needs to be broken through. If we get above 3,900, I don't see why we're not going back into that $4,200 area to test that. At least retesting this area here. This area was such an area of resistance, blasted through. No one wanted to hold here, and now the back test of this area here can be confirmed. And that's a thing we have to also keep in mind as well. The bear break back test, okay? We have a bear break, we back test it, and we're unable to get through it. So all that's happened so far is we're back testing an area that used to act as support, and for now, right, is acting as resistance, breaking through 3,900. And I think it will be the next candle that does it there. I'd be very curious to see another wick break through and then not be able to hold above. Would be a little suspect to me. I actually feel like if we do get back up to 39, we'll be able to get through it once again. On that push there. Definitely a real possibility. So that'll be interesting to watch as well. Again, another high wave hourly candle here with volume. Okay, we're definitely seeing this here. There's a lot of interest right now as we're closing out the month, last day of the month. Okay, and there's a lot of positioning that can be happened. Bottom line, if we close our month out above $3,800, that's bullish. It's bullish for Bitcoin. And if you think about where we started the month of February here down at the 3,300s and rose $1,000, almost, like $900 in Bitcoin from the monthly lows to the monthly highs. Okay, February, at least intra-month there, was a great month, right? Bitcoin, 3,300 to over 4K once again. It was a very impressive month. And the pullback after a very impressive month was notable, but the fact that we were able to find that support on the pullback in our golden pocket, like right in our golden pocket, it was just gorgeous so far. That's a bullish move. Okay, so because of that, I'm not ready to climb up the mountain just yet. I'm still looking at this as more of a retrace until proven otherwise. But if we get above our 38.6, I begin to start thinking about some sort of climb up the mountain versus down. And for that, what I would do, I would just take our most recent swing high to swing low, kind of the inverse here, and basically see that as being able to find support on our 236 and the resistance at our 382, right? As we target higher and higher up the mountain, and how that resistance channel right around our boom area here becomes the area that we're going to see the most, I think, to tell. We get above here, and then it's clear air. You can see we went up quickly, we went down quickly. So there's an elevator between $39.60 and $4,100 more or less. So if we can break through 39, getting back up to $4,100 might not be that hard at all. Might actually be pretty easy. Okay, but this is the bigger obstacle, the 39.50 area here. In about our halfway point, getting back up into our bearish candle there. That's where we're going to find that most resistance corresponding with our previous area of wick outs. If we see another 4 handle in Bitcoin, I think we can definitely get above it and stay above it. And especially a close above 4K would be very nice to see. Now, these are all bullish scenarios here. Obviously, our bearish scenario is the failure to hold the key area of 3,700. And if we do fail to hold that, then I think that's it. I think we're going all the way back down to retest our lower 3,000 area. I absolutely do. But we're not there yet. And until the break of 3,700 and close below, or the break of 4,000 and close above happens, then we're still kind of in the noise of our previous bearish break, right? We're still in the noise of our overall chart pattern here. And we're still in the noise of previous areas of resistance. And let's just take another look here at where we finally found this resistance right here. As we go back in time in Bitcoin, and we see resistance right here at 3,900. Again, bunch of candle wicks here. Little support here as well. I want to go way back. Probably need to be the 4 hour for that. There we go. And then is there anything around back here in our August 17 price action? We do see the 3,900 area as well be support and resistance. So we have history right around $3,900. And the fact that we've currently wicked out there is fine, but I want to keep building these higher lows. I want to keep building these higher lows. And maintaining that keeps us above $3,700. All right, so guys, thanks for hanging out with me in the room here a little earlier in the day, live update. I might come back to you guys later on in the day, a little follow-up, a follow-up video here. Please give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this content. Remember to follow me on Twitter. I'm at Big Chonis. Give my buddy Big Cheds a follow as well. He puts out great content. He's also a founding member of Bitcoin Live. I'm a featured contributor to Bitcoin Live. And remember to give me a thumbs up. Follow me on Twitter and YouTube. Give me a reach out on my mentoring if you're interested in that. BigChonis@gmail.com. Or please feel free to send me a DM as well. And again, just to sum up here, key areas of support: daily Bollinger, middle Bollinger, touch and hold. I like it. As long as middle Bollinger area holds support above 3750, I'll be targeting my upper Bollinger. Again, at the 4K area until proven otherwise. If today's candle closes red, but right on our middle Bollinger, okay, we'd be hanging on by a thread. If we close below the middle Bollinger, then I'm feeling that we're going to get back down and find that bear break once again. But the hold of the middle Bollinger on the support, as well as our cloud support now and our bullish move here in our Tenkan Sen, these are all positives that we're still holding on the higher term time frames, as well as our RSI here. This still could be a shoulder. This still could be the bearish shoulder here. And this narrative play out that I drew a week ago, head, this is the shoulder, could be drifting a little higher here, and then boom. So there's still room for one more pop up. There definitely is. But so far, this still kind of be conforming and could be forming a head and shoulders. And what would break that would be a break of the 57 to 60 area of the RSI with conviction. And then I'd be thinking, oh, nope, it's not going to be an HNS. We're actually going to retest here our above 70 area, which would put Bitcoin in a very bullish stance. So with that, you guys are great. And keep an eye also on those gaps on the CME. There's just a bunch of gaps right now. We've had 2 weekends in a row where we've actually had these gap ups on the opens. So we got gaps on the 4-hour in many places. Get rid of this guy for a moment here. At the 39.30, still open here. Okay, we only got as high as 38.74 on this intra candle here. So still a gap up here at 39.31, and we got a gap down here at 35.73. We got an hourly gap down at 31.38, and we got a 4-hour gap way up here at 43.91 and still yet to be filled. And that 43.91 gap fill could be that final completion of the bullish scenario that we talked about, whereas we are able to get about 39.50, I believe the $4,200 to $4,300 range is definitely a possibility. So with that, until next time, it's Big Chonis. Thank you guys very much. Give me some thumbs up here. We'll talk to you guys later. And stay safe out there. Peace.